During World War I, the German Asia Corps were German troops sent to assist the Ottoman Empire in the Middle Eastern theater of the war against the Entente. The first German troops dispatched to assist the Ottoman army in 1914 and 1915 were pioneers who assisted in the construction of roads in Sinai. In December of 1914, a tropical medical expedition was also sent to work with the Ottoman sanitary units in Palestine to combat epidemics such as typhoid, typhus, and dysentery. Even before the Ottomans entered the war, German General Kress von Kressenstein went to the Ottoman Empire in 1914 with these pioneers to help train the Ottomans. Anyway, the Asia Corps was officially established on January 28, 1915. Their first action in the Middle East was the first raid on the Suez Canal, where the Ottomans were led by German officers and a failed attack on the British. Von Kressenstein commanded mobile units to launch a series of raids and attacks to disrupt traffic on the Suez Canal after the Gallipoli campaign. A joint German and Ottoman force advanced across again into the desert to threaten the canal during July of 1916. This force would also be defeated in August at the Battle of Romani, but more would occur later on. After the Central Powers had a conquest of Serbia, Germany was now able to send troops and equipment directly to the Ottomans. 1,500 German officers with Austro-Hungarian artillery were sent to the Ottoman Empire in March of 1916 to conduct operations in Ottoman-controlled Palestine under the name Pasha I. The Germans also had machine guns, aircraft, artillery, cavalry, infantry, and all the aspects of a modern military expeditionary force, and saw their journey as a great adventure compared to the Western Front, until they reached the plagued town of Aleppo, that is. The Ottoman Empire had very little medical equipment, and illnesses which I had mentioned before infected pretty much everyone. Therefore, the German doctors were a huge propaganda victory in providing relief. The Germans also found that many Ottoman officials in the town were corrupt and had been selling German armaments which had been provided to them by the Germans beforehand. The Germans were stationed in Beersheba in April, and the flying detachment was subsequently stationed at El Arish and Bir el Abd. On April 23rd, von Kressenstein and his officers led the Ottomans in the Battle of Kaita in a surprise attack on 3.5 squadrons of the British 5th Mounted Brigade, which was widely scattered to the east of Romani and resulted in an Ottoman victory. During the night of the 3rd and 4th of August, the advancing force, including the German Asia Corps formation with 16,000 men and the entire Ottoman 3rd Infantry Division, launched an attack from Kaita on Romani. After the moon had set at around 2:30 a.m., the Germans and Ottomans made a bayonet charge on Mount Meredith. Although vastly outnumbered, the light horsemen fought an effective delaying action at close-quarters combat, but were forced to relinquish control slowly and ultimately evacuated their positions by 3 a.m. Without the benefit of moonlight, the light horsemen had fired at the flashes of the enemy's rifle muzzles until they were close enough to use bayonets. At 4 a.m., daylight revealed the weakness of the light horse defenders and their second positions of the Wellington Ridge, and that their right was outflanked by a strong German and Ottoman force who had then utilized German artillery. Having held south of Romani, the German and Ottoman force attempted a further outflanking maneuver to the west, concentrating 2,000 troops around Mount Roystone, another sand dune, southwest of Romani at 5 a.m. But by 11 a.m., the light horse had gradually withdrawn back until the main German and Ottoman attack was stopped by well-directed fire from the Royal Horse artillery batteries of the Anzac Mounted Division by the light horse rifle and machine gun fire. The three columns of German, Austro-Hungarian, and Ottoman attacking forces were brought to a standstill by the coordinated, concentrated, and determined defense by the Anzacs. At this most critical period of the day's fighting, when the German and Ottoman force of 2,000 men dominated the Romani area from Mount Roystone, which they came under attack by the New Zealanders. However, when the British infantry came to reinforce the New Zealanders and destroy the Ottoman, German, and Austro-Hungarian batteries, the Germans began surrendering in the masses. Meanwhile, the inner flank of the German and Ottoman force on Wellington Ridge made a last effort to advance across the ridge, but would be driven back by artillery fire. The British forces would end up capturing the ridge on August 5, 1916. The two-day battle for Romani and the Suez Canal had been won by the British infantry as well as the Anzac mounted troops. They captured approximately 4,000 German and Ottoman combatants while killing over 1,200, but the main force was able to escape with their artillery. 4 brigades of the Anzac Mounted Division managed to contain and direct the determined German and Ottoman forces into deep sand. Although the attacking force fought strongly to maintain its positions, the next morning, by nightfall, they had been pushed back to their starting points at Kaita. The retiring force was pursued by the Anzac Mounted Division between the 6th and 9th of August, during which time the Ottoman and German forces fought several determined rearguard actions against the advancing Australian Light Horse, the British Yeomanry, and the New Zealand Mounted Rifle Brigades. The Germans then subsequently fell back to Beersheba and Ramallah. On March 11, 1917, after the fall of Baghdad to the British, the German army increased the strength of their detachments with the Ottoman troops by dispatching a second expedition called Pasha II under Major General Werner von Frankenberg zu Prostschleitz in August of 1917. During the prelude to the First Battle of Gaza, the British captured 30 German pioneers and their pack horses, as well as many other Germans in their advance to the city. During the battle, Germany mainly utilized aircraft but also had infantry units with the Ottomans and Austro-Hungarians, which defeated the British attack. In the Second Battle of Gaza, German contribution was primarily aircraft that harassed the British and Commonwealth troops as well as several artillery. In the Third Battle of Gaza, Germany primarily provided air support once again, and like the Battle of Gaza, in the Battle of Beersheba, Germany mainly had airplanes as well as other officers, as 1917 was the year of Central Powers' collapse in the Middle East. The Battle of Beersheba was lost just like the Third Battle of Gaza. Jerusalem also saw a pretty similar German force, but this time with machine gunners, yet the result was still the same, a British victory. Von Falkenhayn, who commanded German forces in Palestine from 1917 to 1918, is credited with avoiding a battle for the Old City of Jerusalem, which prevented the destruction of many holy sites. He also had a crucial role in stopping the forced removal of the Jewish population from Palestine, which Ottoman Governor Jamal Pasha had planned to use in a similar fashion as the Armenian genocide which had occurred in 1915. The evacuation of the population of Jerusalem during the harsh winter months which had been planned by Jamal Pasha was thwarted by German officers including Falkenhayn. On July 19, 1918, the Ottomans and Germans mounted a brief attack at Abu Talal near the Jordan River but were defeated by the Australian Light Horse regiments with heavy casualties to the German 11th Reserve Jaeger Battalion, which was subsequently withdrawn from Palestine. German POWs would be taken as the Entente continued their advance throughout the summer and fall. In September, the last actions of the Asia Corps occurred in many battles during the encirclement of the Ottoman armies during the Battle of Megiddo. These were in the battles of Tulkarm, Tabsor, Ara, Nazareth, Afula, and Be'ezan, Jenin, Haifa, Samka, Nablus, Sharon, and the Third Transjordan attack. Although German infantry and other ground units would fight hard, entire truckloads of Germans would be captured. These would be the last engagements of the German Asia Corps' Pasha II. However, many Germans of the unit would be able to escape across the Jordan River, and although they were not separate from Pasha II and the Asia Corps, they would fight in the battles of Jisr Banat Yaqub, Charjet Irbid, Charjet Kaukab, Charjet Kishwe, capture of Damascus, pursuit of Haritan, and Aleppo in 1918. The bombing of the German historical archives had made it somewhat difficult to research the German Asia Corps, so I included all that I could find here. But is there anything that I left out? Write in the comments, and thank you for watching.